Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the Badass Buddha. Good morning, Milagros in the house. First thing, Gladiator Guru is coming shortly. I got a message from her this morning, but I couldn't quite hear it, and I'm assuming it said I slept through my alarm again. So she shall be here shortly. So I wanted to get going because, interestingly, Facebook does not let you start late. If you start too late, they completely disconnect your broadcast. So we only have a few minutes. So sometimes we could start about 5 minutes late, but anything after that, we run the risk of actually not being seen on Facebook. So it'll give her a chance to catch up and get here, and we'll what I'm thinking is, because we want to get into our conversation today, what I will probably go ahead and do is talk a little bit real quickly about what we're going to talk about today, and then also to do the mantra and set the intention. Even though Gladiator Guru is always a part of that, this way we get that out of the way, because again, we want to talk about this phenomenal thing that we're doing for September, which is taking control and taking action of your life. And so far we have had, what are you not seeing? What are you not hearing? What are you not saying? And today we're going to be talking about, what are you not feeling? All right. So this is going to be a great conversation today. And the rest of the month is going to be absolutely fabulous. And we are going to end the very last day of the month. I unfortunately will not be here. I'll be on my way to California to go to my nephew's wedding. But we have a phenomenal guest, Melissa Rusiano, who's going to be the guest host. She was on last month and everybody loved her, and she's absolutely fabulous. So she's going to be guest hosting with Margie. And that last show is called Take the Leap. All right. So we're going to be talking about Take the Leap. So good morning, Iritza. I'm glad you're here. Margarita will be here shortly. So let's do this. Let's check in with you. Okay. How was your week? How's everything going? How has it been for you to be working on these things? Are you sharing this? You know, we would love if you would repost these videos in your Facebook, on your Facebook pages, and then give a little a side note to it. Explain what we're doing. Ask people to join in, because this is really, really helpful. And it's not just because we would love to get the views. We would, but we've been very excited about this information. It is literally like a coaching session. And I hope you feel that way as well. So we can never learn enough. All right. So if you would do that, if you would share this morning's presentation, I will share it as soon as Gladiator Guru gets on, because I don't want to stop and do and share, because it takes me a little time. And I will share in a moment. But if you could share, if you could invite people on, that would be absolutely great. And rewatch when you need to. Listen to the conversation and the questions, answer the questions that we're giving you, so that at the end of the month, when we do that Take That Leap conversation, it will include what you've learned that month. And I'm so bummed that I can't be there. Like, I'm sitting there trying to find a way. I'm like, can I actually be on the plane and do that? Like, can I actually, like, I know, like, can you do that? Is it possible to hit Wi-Fi while you're on the plane? So maybe I could, but it'll be so loud. So I have to figure out how to do that. But anyway, Desiree's in the house. Good morning. Okay, so let's set our intention. We'll do our mantra, and then hopefully at that point, Gladiator Guru will be able to jump on. Okay, so here we go. For as always with Viva Cafe con Leche, we're going to set our intention for today, and our intention is always to be intentional. So you decide what your intention is going to be. You set it today. You could set it as many times as you want. You could set it this morning. You could set it later today. You could set multiple intentions, but the end result is to be intentional. So that is the intention for today, is to be intentional as always, and to go with gratitude. Always be grateful for what you have, what you've learned, the bad, the good, the ugly. Be grateful for all of that, because you would not be who you are today had you not experienced all that. And even if your life is not going exactly the way you want it, still be grateful, because that gratitude will shift your energy, and you will be able to create a new shift and a new flow in a different direction for your future. So, all right. So again, for those of you that are just coming on, Gladiator Guru is coming. She's just running a little bit late. So I wanted to sort of get the ball rolling so that when she comes on, we can get started. All right. So let's do our mantra. Say it loud, say it proud. For those of you that can yell it, yell it. For those of you that are watching on the replay, make sure that you say the mantra with us and say the mantra even on the other days of the week. Get up in the morning, write it in your journal, and say this mantra. Okay, here we go. I am a disruptor. I am unapologetically courageous. I am spiritually grounded. I am magically orgasmic. And I am beyond authentic. Take it in, take a breath in, and breathe in that power that only you have and that we in the world need. We need your power. We need your light. So anytime you feel your light is too dim or your power is too low, do something to replenish it, but make it shine bright and make that power source available to others so that we can create massive change in the world, right? Change starts with you, and then we change all together. So I know I was looking at that. I noticed I had a rainbow. Isn't that funny, Desiree? I saw that. It's just the way the light happened to be coming in. So, okay. So again, for those of you that are coming on now, waiting for Gladiator Guru to come on, how about you share in the chat with me? How have things been going for you? How's the week been? How have the last 2 weeks been? Remember, we started this conversation, okay, with our friend Gail Kraft, who's also a coach. And the beauty about Gail is that Gail knows that there's still plenty to learn. So she's a coach herself, but she's plenty to learn. And she's been very vocal about what she's been sharing, which has been great. She's been putting stuff in the comments and we've been really appreciative. So not only do we want you to listen to the broadcast, but we want you to go back to the comments. And for some odd reason, Facebook comments don't always pop. Not every single bit of the Facebook comments pop up. I've noticed that when I wanted to go back to the broadcast and like answer people's comments, I couldn't find them all. It's very frustrating. I don't know why they do that. But this is how our month has started, okay? We started with abandonment, and that's where Gail came in and she was our guest. We did that on September 1st. We talked about abandonment, letting go of our old selves, letting go of that which no longer serves us, abandoning that, but also dealing with abandonment in our life. What have we abandoned? What has abandoned us and how it's affected us? Last week, what are you not seeing? That was Tuesday's conversation. What are you not seeing? Thursday's conversation, what are you not hearing? We've been asking the same questions all along, so it's easy for you to follow and answer these questions. Today is, Tuesday was what are you not saying? And today's conversation is what are you not feeling? Next week, okay, well, this ends on the 29th. So we still have 2 more weeks of this, right? So next week, Tuesday, we are going, the title of that one is called Walk a Mile in Your Own Fucking Shoes. Now, it is not meant for disrespect of compassion and empathy towards others. In fact, we're going to talk about that expression, walk a mile in someone else's shoes. But we're always concerned about walking a mile in someone else's shoes. But what about our own shoes? And that's what we're going to talk about today, on that day. I'm sorry. On Thursday, we're going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness takes courage. And the most specific part of that we're going to be speaking on is forgiveness of self. Let's see. September 27th. What are you not doing? Right? So we've been, this whole conversation, we keep asking the 3 questions. What in your life are you truly not seeing, hearing, saying, and then today will be feeling? How is it affecting your life and what are you going to do about it? And that particular episode, September 27th, is we are going to ask the specific question. Okay, now that you know all this information, now that you've become aware, what are you not doing? What have you not done in the past? What are you not doing today? What are you not doing for your tomorrow, and how to flip that? And then the very last episode, September 29th, with our special guest host, Melissa Rusiano, is Take the Leap. Because we're going to take all that information and we're going to decide how you are going to move forward and take that leap of faith. Cannot stay on the whole show. Okay, Gail, but thank you for being here anyway. We really appreciate it. Okay, so hopefully She's coming because this is really late. This is really late for Gladiator Guru. All right, so let's start this conversation. All right. So let me put up the banner. Okay. And I have to fix the banner. So give me a second because we need to put the new thing up there. Okay, there we go. It's a one-woman show. It's very hard when it's one-woman show here. All right. What in your life are you truly not feeling? How is it affecting your life? Let me fix that because I forgot there she is. All right. Yay. So listen, we got past all that other stuff. So we are right at that moment for you to walk in and start having a conversation. All right. We literally just started that. So what are in your life are you truly not feeling? How is it affecting your life? And what are you going to do about it? What do you like better, Gladiator Guru? Do you like it like this? Or do you like it like that?
I'd rather, because I can't see, is to have it up close.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So we did the mantra, we did set the intention for today. And I talked about what we've already done. And then I've also gave him a heads up on what's coming up till the end of the month. So we are literally ready to go with this conversation today of what in your life you're truly not feeling. How is it affecting your life? And what are you going to do about it? So good morning, Gladiator Guru.
Buenos dias. Good morning, Milagros, Iritza, Desiree, Gail. Good morning. Good morning.
All right. So think about that statement for a little bit, everybody. What are you not feeling? A lot of times when, something's not right, we're not happy with something, we don't want to say something, or we refuse to listen because we just don't want to deal with it, or we refuse to see it because we don't want to deal with it. But when you start really getting uncomfortable with a situation, that's because it is your spirit that's trying to speak. And the spirit really works a lot through how you feel. And so that's the big question, is what in your life are you truly not feeling? What are you not willing to face? And it's gotten to a point where it's actually making you feel a certain way. Certain emotions come up for you, or you don't allow the emotions to come up for you. So let's start that conversation. Let's see it in the chat to see what is it that you are not feeling right now. What is it that you are not feeling? Do you want to start, Gladiator Guru?
No, go right ahead. I just took the first sip of coffee because I didn't awake to my 3 different time alarms.
So for me, I've learned to suppress things when I don't want to deal with them, right? And that's pretty common psychological thing that people do, right? But what I found is that I could only do that for so long, and when I suppress feelings, now I view myself as a very empathetic individual. People say, oh, empathic or whatever. I sometimes cringe with the word I'm empathic. I think everybody's empathic. It's just that some people are just more sensitive or whatever, and that's fine. I am a very empathetic person, but I've noticed that when I am not willing to deal with something, I create apathy. Like I will, and it's some of it is a protection mechanism, some of it, and I always sit with this for a moment. I always sit and say, am I being apathetic because I'm being non-attached, which is a mindfulness practice, or am I detaching, which is separating myself without dealing with something, right? And that's not healthy. Non-attachment is healthy, detachment is not healthy. So I have to sit with that when I can look at something and have no emotional connection to it. And then what I notice is that when I do that, and it is coming from a place of detachment, I will often have a release from that and then become very sad, like as if to say, like my spirit says, no, I don't want you to be that person. I want you to be connected. I want you to be empathetic. I want you to care, but I just want you to be protecting yourself. And there's a difference. And that's what non-attachment does, is it allows you to still protect yourself, but still be connected to other things. So when I feel that push and pull, no emotion, overly emotional, I have to sit with that even longer and say, okay, what is it that I don't want to deal with right now? What is it that's coming up for me? Is it fear? And a lot of it for me is fear-based. I won't even deny that. For a long time, I thought I had a fear of success, which I do realize. I mean, I still struggle with that piece of it. But what came up for me in the last, since last year, was fear of taking the leap, fear of the unknown, fear of trusting in the process. And with that fear, so what that I didn't want to feel that fear, I kept resisting to prevent me feeling that fear, which then prevented me from moving, and I became stagnant, which then made me feel even worse. And then I covered that up with distracting myself. So you see how that rolls into a pattern? Go ahead, Gladiator Guru. Did you wake up enough with me talking?
Well, I think when we are not feeling the fear, when we are not feeling the fear, guess what? Any type of change, no matter whether you're changing the color of your nail polish or you're changing your lifestyle to move from here across the world, it breeds fear. And I think my insomnia has not been I can't really place it, but I don't think it's the changes happening in my life because I was very productive up until 4 in the morning. But we got to remember that life is fluid, right? So when we must make a change, but the fear is preventing us from actually being in our present and our now, what are we not feeling? We're not feeling the excitement of the change that's about to take place. So it's not always like the negative thing. So when we somebody asked me recently, so how do you feel? What do you feel? And I said, I don't know. I guess I won't feel it until it happens. Well, I guess that my internally, what am I not feeling is affecting me, right? So we just gotta remember that life is fluid and we have to learn how to flow through and with the changes to get out the fear so that then we can acknowledge what it is we're feeling. I'm just talking through experience right now, just to get my vocal cords warm. So when we are detaching, I think when we are not feeling, I don't think we associate it more with non-attachment. I think it's detachment.
Well, you can detach from things, but detachment usually represents the fact that you're
Pulling away.
You're pulling away from your own self, though. That's why with mindfulness practice, there's a very clear definition between non-attachment and detachment, where non-attachment means you pull away from things that don't serve you, things that can interfere with you, but you still are connected emotionally and mentally to other things. So you don't close yourself off. So like detachment really allows you to be in that space of apathy. Like you really don't care. You don't want to feel anything. You don't want to know anything. You're angry. You feel very separated from other people, which that's a really bad, like even Gail said, it's like a domino effect. When you get into that realm, that's where people get depressed. That's where people, like PTSD is notorious for allowing people to become detached because they don't want to deal with what they dealt with that trauma. And so they detach.
I think. I totally thank you for fully explaining it. But I get it. But even when what we are not feeling, when it's for other people, or when we believe and we misread other people's whatever towards us, it's always because it always stems from us detaching from ourselves, from us stepping away from ourselves and seeing everything in a negative light, right? I think that no matter how we treat people and how we perceive people and blow it up into something bigger than what it's not, it all stems from how we are dealing with our own shit.
Yes.
And so that's why I use the word detachment. When you can, then you start doing something else and then you get caught up and then yeah. And this has been 4 nights for me already. So, good morning, Marina. God, I know we said a lot about today.
If we notice, like I just put up what Desiree wrote. So this is good. I'm glad everybody's sharing. So she says, I take on other people's problems as projects to avoid feeling my own feelings. Yes, that is, you're doing that as avoidance. You're avoid feeling your own stuff. I recently came out to find this out by myself. There you go. You have the awareness. So you have the awareness of that. And now it's a matter of saying, okay, so we ask those questions. What in your life are you truly not feeling? You have to identify what it is that you don't want to feel, that you keep doing that. And how is it affecting your life? Well, I keep avoiding it. And then what are you going to do about it? I have to face it. I have to deal with it. And then Gail wrote a chapter. Not feeling is a tough question for me to nail down. I will need to really think this one. But off the top of my head, it is feeling that comes and goes. Sometimes I feel compelled and sometimes step back from what I believe I'm being directed to do. In a word, not feeling worthy enough to represent the universe. I create a wall between me and the universe, which is not what I want. I am currently looking into specific tools to break that wall down. Awesome. Again, it's the awareness. It's and you do. Gail is right. This is not something that you can necessarily answer right away. You have to sit with this, because sometimes we don't know what we're not feeling until we get presented with it. And then we see the pattern of avoiding, we see the pattern of distracting ourselves. And then we say, oh my God, what am I, maybe what you're not feeling is joy in your life. Maybe you're not allowing yourself to feel joy, peace. These are some of the things that you could think about. Are you allowing yourself to feel peace? Are you allowing yourself to feel joy? If there's interruption all the time, if there's people around you that get under your skin, that cause you to get into a really bad headspace, negative, that means that you're allowing these individuals to come in. You're not staying, you're staying attached to them. And then you're not allowing yourself to feel who you are meant to be. I've come to that conclusion in my current environment. And that's why I've realized that, I've known this for over a year now, actually 2 years, but the change needed to be made and is in the process, because I can't go further into who I am to become until that massive change. I have to take that next big step in making a change. And so once you come to terms with that, sometimes it is that you have to leave an environment or change a job or something. Like if you go in day to say, I love my job, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel restless. I feel it. Allow yourself to feel it, and then ask yourself, ask the universe, ask God, sit with it and say, why? Like, what is this? Where is this coming from? What is it that I'm not feeling, or what is it that I'm feeling?
And acknowledge it. See, what I have come across, people I have met, what they say exactly what she said. And then they're the worst at loving themselves, and they're the worst at criticizing everyone around them. So what are you not feeling? If you are not feeling what you are supposed to be feeling towards yourself, then everyone around you is going to look like they're like you're the victim and they're upsetting you, or they're doing this to show off. And I've met a lot of people that way. Don't be those type of people. What are you not feeling? What are you feeling? Do you need to hold yourself accountable? But she said something earlier about facts about the feeling. Let me tell you something. What are you not? It's change is also like healing, right? Change, fear, all of that. We try to avoid. We try to avoid until either somebody makes the decision for us, or the time passes and we're like, oh, well, I really tried, but I felt that it wasn't time. We come up with excuses. Am I correct, Laura?
Oh, yeah.
So healing,
good ones. We come up with good ones sometimes.
And then it's like you self-sabotage, but instead of allowing yourself to feel and not feel, like don't feel everyone else's stress, but feel your own. But when we don't do that, guess what happens? Then we become the victim in our minds, because we're not going to continue to hold ourselves accountable for the things we are failing to do. So it's everybody else's fault. They did this and that's why I did this, and they said that, so I just didn't go, and it's a whole clusterfuck. So healing, when you're going through the healing, what people avoid at all costs as well is that you will have to rip off that old scab.
Yeah.
You have to rip off that old scab, and it's going to hurt like hell, right? But it's causing you to relive old memories. We're not going to say triggers, because I think the word trigger triggers people.
Yes.
So you have to relive all those old memories, right? In order for you to properly acknowledge the pain. So you might bleed a bit. It might ooze out something else. You're going to start feeling everything that happens. You're going to try to fight it off because you did it the first time. But then here we are needing to backtrack to correct it so that it may heal better, as it should heal and close that chapter. So it might bleed a bit. And my advice to you is to have some alcohol and some Band-Aids. Pour that shit on it. Clean it up. Bandage it up properly, right? Then tend to your wounds as you should. When we don't tend to them, because this is what someone said earlier, they go and they start helping everybody, right? To avoid what they're feeling.
Yeah, that's what Desiree said.
You don't tend to your wounds and allow yourself to heal thoroughly this time that you went back and pulled that, then it's going to be Groundhog's Day movie for you. That's how your life will be. So you have to say no mas, and that you're going to always go to battle for yourself. Because you know what? When you do not allow yourself to feel what you are supposed to feel, you're just, what is that word? You're just delaying the inevitable.
Yes.
What happens when you keep delaying, issues and just
you.
all sorts of shit that happens in our daily life. When you do that, they're gonna come like a bunch of flesh-eating ants to you one day. You have to deal with it accordingly. When you choose not to feel what you're feeling, whether it's for you or whether it's when you're dealing with somebody, what's Lori's specialty? Narcissist. And then you say, but I don't understand because I'm trying my best. Why are you trying your best to fix somebody else when you have a whole bunch of makeup homework to do on your own? And that's just to get, like you said, not just to get out. So what are you not feeling? What are you not feeling? What? And we're all going through it. What am I not feeling? I'm going through a gambit. I was 2 weeks ago in the worst indecisive state of my life. I couldn't make a decision to change my life. And it was difficult because I've always been a decisive person. But at this turn of events, in this self-isolation to heal, I got people who were concerned because they thought that led to depression. But the self-isolation through prayer that I chose was to be aware. It was more to heal, to find the parts of me that needed tending to. The discoveries were wonderful, are wonderful. I'm still working through them because some lay dormant for so long. I ignored them too long that, they have to be healed a bit before we can then deal with it. So in my healing, to deal with everything that I have to deal with. And my life is not more difficult than anybody else's. I'm not comparing myself to anybody. My life is my life. Why? Because there were certain things I didn't tend to after my husband died. There were certain things I didn't tend to after my mother died. What are you not feeling? That was a great question to ask me. Nobody asked me. That's why the Badass Buddha and I, we sit. We don't just say, okay, we sit and we say, and we try to do months that are important for you to get to know who you are. This is the month where school started. There's a lot of frenziness going on, uncertainty in the world, the economic downturn. We have so much going on, but you still got to get your kids ready and put them on a bus or drop them off at school. And then you sit and you pray that they're safe all day. And then you got yourself to get yourself organized and get yourself to work. If you're in a whatever type of relationship, then you got to deal with that. You got to carry that burden. You got to be with the fear, or if not stuck in prayer, but still like sneaking like the insolent child and still being worried. There's so much going on. But then the main priority is the kids. But then the second priority is making sure you have food to feed them and making sure your family's warm. We're heading into winter. September is huge. It is like the opening portal for the rest of the end of the year. So this is why we chose these, so that you can stay in tune with who you are. And ask yourself that. Or put stickies on the refrigerator, in your bathroom mirror. Talk about them with your kids so that they can ask you, because kids are inquisitive. Give them something to be inquisitive about. You open up to them, they learn how to open up. They're having a bad time at school, they're not going to be afraid to open up because you have great conversations at home. I mean, this is not just for Tuesdays and Thursday mornings this September. This is to add into your life so that you may change certain parts of your life and live the life that you were born to live, because we're all born with a purpose. But then shit gets in the way, and the rain comes and it blurs us, and then the fog sets in, and there's so many metaphors we can use as to why we haven't gotten it. We're still breathing. Our heartbeat is beating. There's still blood coursing through our veins. There's still opportunity for today to start being aware of who you are. What are you not seeing? What are you not hearing? What are you not saying? What are you not feeling? We have to own up to what it is that we feel. We might be wrong. We might be feeling something that's not even ours. So you need somebody, a sounding board, a confidant, your sister, your best friend. Just say, I've been feeling this. I don't know, have you been feeling this? Maybe it's the universe, the Mercury, all those signs that they say. I just say, you know what? If you're going to sit with the moon, sit with the moon. If you're going to go out and sun kiss the sun, then do so. But do it for you, to figure out what it is you're feeling. You don't have to go into these, but why am I feeling this way? And just come out like what is triggering me? I hate that word, but I still used it. And then fix it. It's that simple. You don't need 50 meditation programs. You don't need to sit through 3 free master classes or pay for it, so somebody to tell you how to feel, how to arrange your thinking. You know what? Kneel down, say a prayer, believe in yourself, and then do it. We spend so much time learning how to do it that we don't fucking wiggle our ass into the seat.
Yeah, that's
and
the
take
truth.
care of what we get to take care of. And then you listen to it. And me, for those who know me know, a whiny little pesty motherfucker is just, it gets on my nerve. Somebody who is so hypocritically fake and then wants to use all these big words in front of me. Stop it, because you're only fooling yourself, because I just got to deal with you for a minute, but then I'm going to go on with my life, because you know what? I fall every time I need to learn a new lesson. So what am I not feeling right now? I'm not feeling anything. I've made decisions that I know will serve me in my life. People around may have different objectives because of the way they see their life. I don't get imposed by I am a whiny bitch.
So listen, that's Desiree, that's so brave of you. Like, it's an acknowledgement, The question is, do you like that about yourself? And if you say, I really don't like that about I don't want to be that person anymore, you have become aware of it, you acknowledge it. Now you have to make the change. Like Gladia Guru was saying, take action. Is you could take a gazillion classes on how to not be, but you need to actually put it to action. So when you hear yourself whining about something, you have to become aware at that moment and say, okay, stop. Like, I'm sick of it. I can only imagine what other people might be feeling around me, right? But that's beautiful that you acknowledged that. And yes, this is what's funny but not funny.
But it's true, because when I say a jar of molasses, Iris always says, that's me, because that's just how she is. But you know what? Sometimes we get lost in reading up and listening to other people's stuff. And then we forget why we're there. So we're just absorbing, but not absorbing it in the way that it's like absorbing a bottle of Hennessy instead of absorbing a bottle of water. The Hennessy is going to dry you out, lead you to dehydration, make you nauseous, water is going to
Nourish you.
do its job. So we must choose wisely when we're choosing for ourselves, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm tired of people always putting everybody ahead of them. Well, I got to do this for this, for this, for this. I was there. I did that. You know, we cannot keep putting it off. So when someone says, we don't ask enough either. And I still have it as my profile picture. And we never ask enough people, are you happy? When they say, oh, hi, I'm Margie. Hi, I'm Lori. Oh, where are you from? I'm from here. Where are you from? Where? What do you do? Are you happy? My niece at first, she used to get embarrassed with me. We would go to the stores and I'm like, hey, so how's it going? And I'll look at the name tag. Are you happy? And they would like be taken aback. Like, who's this nosy bitch? But guess what happened? Guess what happened? They answered. Even one lady's like, well, you know, my boyfriend and I have been going through a really bad time, but we started talking and it's getting better. She smiled. And my niece is like, how did you know? And I said, just certain energies I pick up that I ask certain people. But the thing is, we're not asked. And somebody said, how you doing? I'll say, do you want the truth or do you want the short version? Because we're the truth. You got to give me some time. If not, then guess what? I'm fine. And what is the acronym for fine? Freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. So read between the lines. But you can only do that when you are in line with yourself. So you know what? Stop studying things outside of you and start learning things from within. You know, the best inquiry you can make in life is not how much something costs or how far from the beach it is. It's who the fuck am I? Who is that woman that I've had to suppress for the majority of my adult life? That's what you're not feeling. You're not feeling her knocking on those doors saying, let me out of here. Can somebody let me out of here? Because you had to quiet her down if you were loud. You had to be a little less aggressive, as people like to say. You know, be more passive. You get more things out of it. Your husband didn't like you laughing so loud, so you tried to lower the way you laugh. Before you know it, you're looking at a mirror like, who the fuck is she?
Yeah. And then the resentment kicks in. The resentment kicks in and you get angry at people for that, but you also get angry at yourself. But it's hard to deal with being angry at yourself. I want to note that what Desiree wrote. So she says, I keep getting stuck saying to myself, I'm going to do this as soon as I get to this point. Everybody does that at one time or another. And some people stay in that loop. I'm going to do this when this happens, or I will start, going on trips when I make this kind of money, or I'm going to move out of this state when my kids finish school, or there's always a point, but because next thing you know, a year passes, then another year passes, then another year passes. And if that's a legitimate thing, like let's say the person does have kids in school and they say, I want my last kid to finish high school and then I want to move. And if that is a conversation that happens within the household, it is known. Soon as they finish, we're going to go, and you're excited about it. That's fine. You're feeling it. You're acknowledging it. That's the goal. Mm-hmm. But if you just keep saying it as a statement, well, I'm not really happy here, but I'll go once my kids are finished school. I'll go once I do this. I'll go once I do that. And then you keep repeating how unhappy you are every single, month, every single 6 months, every single year. The question is, do you really need to wait till the kids do that? Do you really need to wait for this? What can you do today to move forward? What can you do today to, instead of saying, as soon as I get to this point, what can you do today? And you have to open yourself to any and all possibilities. Yes. We get stuck on wanting to figure out the path. Like, I'm going to blaze the path and it's going to be this way. And I'm going to walk this many miles and this is how it's going to be. But that's not the way it works. That's not the way the divine works. That's not the way the universe works. You could be blazing your path. There's nothing wrong with it. But then all of a sudden you get to like this huge gap that, shit, how am I going to get over that? Like, I can't just jump it. I got to go around it. Do I knock down a tree and make a bridge and walk across it? It's not always going to be that easy, that path is easy to cross.
But so you have to that. It's just that easy is just easy. Why do we always seek easy?
That's the truth.
Yes.
Nothing in life is easy.
Nothing is easy, and easy doesn't get you to become more courageous, to become stronger, to have that endurance, to walk that extra mile. Easy is just easy. That is what the devil provides. You know, although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you got to walk through that valley. You
Yes.
came down one mountain, and the
Yes.
purpose for your new life is on the mountain next door. You got to come down that mountain and walk through that valley. And you're going to see shit you thought you would never see, or that you would never see again. You're going to fear. You're going to be disgusted. You're going to deal with everything. But you'll come out onto the other side if you endure.
Yes.
So you know what? Easy is just easy. And if that's your life of being easy, then you continue it. But if you want to be a role model, leave a legacy, and love God for walking with you in every step of the way, then you got to start looking inward. What am I not seeing, saying, hearing, feeling, for crying out loud? You are the one that has the answers to everything. It's not my fault. It's not your mama's fault. It's not anybody's fault. And let me tell you something. Did you put leashes up? Feeling everything is key to start healing. It also a process as it takes time. That's how we heal. Be selfish, say no to people, and be selfish and selfless. Yes. Do you know the Badass Buddha, and I talked about it. I read this whole article on it. When Byron and I used to do our podcasting, we did a whole hour and a half on it, and it was about fear. And for those who have watched Byron and I and Watermark, we also shared how when we fear as parents, and we have all these worries that are just like, why are we allowing all these worries to paralyze us? And I know a lot of people who are still like that. Do you know that as early, maybe earlier, but at 7 years old, your child absorbs your fear? But when that child becomes older and acquires its own fears, it has yours weighing them down already.
Yes.
So then your child becomes somebody that can't make decisions, that has separation anxiety, that has PTSD because somebody dropped a stapler on their toe at work, and now they have to go on workman's comp because they just can't deal with it because it happened and everybody looked and now they're embarrassed, and the list goes on and on and on. So if we don't fix ourselves, because our kids come first and I got to do this for my kid and I really need to move out of here, it's not conducive to any of our growth, but my kid doesn't want to leave their friends, you're still pushing it off on everybody else. And in the long run, take it from fucked up adults, they will carry that shit. Well, it was because of me, my mother stood, and now she's getting flowers at the grave. There's a lot of, it goes uglier. So let's just be real. We're not going to only talk about pretty stuff. So what are you not feeling? If you are not feeling courageous enough to take the stance that's going to keep you and your loved ones safe, then figure out how to do it. Because we must protect who we are if we claim to love the ones around us.
This is a really powerful statement going along exactly what Gladiator Guru was saying. Lish said, also others around you have their own opinion on how you should be. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business, right? So she says, I'm reality. Becoming the person you want to be isn't up to anyone else. As long as you love the person you are. That's something I've been learning lately. It's okay not to care how even the closest people feel or think. Absolutely. So here's tough love.
Right
Okay?
on.
Here's
Right
tough love. When we're talking about you feeling a certain way, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to do about it? The questions that we ask: what in your life are you truly not feeling? How is it affecting your life? What are you going to do about it? Here's tough love. And Gladiator Guru and I say this, maybe not exactly this way, to each other. We push each other all the time. Is I don't give a shit about your why or why not.
Mm-hmm.
Why I can't do this, why not I can't do this. We want to hear how you are accountable to it and what the fuck you're going to do about it. And if more people said that to me like that, not in a mean way, like when Gladiator, listen, I've said this numerous times. Years ago, when I first became friends with Gladiator Guru, I was upset about a situation. I had just gotten a really big break to be on a Facebook Live at a very big event. And I had my 5 minutes of, it was like, I think I had 15 minutes of talk that I was supposed to do. And she, the girl, we set it up, told my kids not to go on the internet because our internet was not great. And I didn't want to get knocked off. This was very beginning in my career of coaching. This was huge. Like, this was a really big thing. 7 minutes in or something like that, 5 minutes in, I freeze. The lady's texting me saying, you froze. And I'm trying to figure this out. Later would find out that my middle daughter did not listen to me and went online and started zapping up the internet, right? I tried to get back on. By the time I got back on, it was like too late. I lost my rhythm. It was a complete fail. And I was so upset because to me, this was my big thing. Like, this was what was going to catapult me. And it just totally. So I sent a text message to Gladiator Guru and I was upset. I was pissed. I was sad. I was disappointed. I was so many emotions. And all I wanted was to feel sorry for myself. Like, I wanted her to be like, that's terrible. That sucks. I can't believe that happened. This is awful. I send her this text of what happened, and she sends me a text back and says, and what did you learn? And I looked at that text, and for that first second, I looked at the text, and I'm going like this to the text. Oh, what did I learn? Like, no, I want you to sit there and feel sorry for me. I want you to sit there and be in my pity party. And I got so angry for like 30 seconds, and then I stopped. And I took a breath. And I said, oh, fuck, she's right. Like, she's, damn it, and I proceeded to type in what I learned. And that was such a shift for me because nobody's ever done that for me. Like, nobody's ever they didn't allow me to go into that space. It's not saying that Gladiator Guru and I don't allow each other to go into those moments, because sometimes you do have to be there. But at that moment, she knew what I needed to shift with. Would have done me nothing to have that pity party. She just put it out there. And so sometimes that is the kick in the pants. If you are not, all these things that we've been asking you, it is time for you to acknowledge them. When we say, what are you not feeling? We also could mean is, what are you feeling too? What is the bad feelings that you're allowing in? And what are you not allowing yourself to feel? And it's those good things. Like I said before, the joy, the peace, the courage, not allowing yourself to feel those things. Why are you not allowing? What is it that you're not allowing? How is it affecting you? If it's making you feel awful, because resentful, regretful, like all these angry, frustrated with self, then what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? So maybe we could a little bit more emphasis on what they can do about it, Gladiator Guru.
Well, what you can do about it, let's start with the story that the badass Buddha just said. When I answered that, what did you learn? What did I do? I brought it right back to her because she's the only one that could have answered it. And I wasn't taking that on. I had just started like really getting into the caregiving of my mom, but that wasn't the thing. She was so frustrated over something she couldn't have handled, but she still allowed herself to get into that space. So I wasn't going to go into the eye of the tornado with her. One. So I threw it back at her. Well, what did you learn? Because only she could have answered it. And my input would have just fueled her anger or her negative energy. And I've always been protective of my energy. More so now, since I self-isolated and just grown spiritually. But that's what you can do as well. That's how you help yourself, because first is God, me, and everybody else. And then that's how you truly help somebody else. For all the mothers and grandmothers out there, if you constantly do everything, fix everything, cover for your kids and everything, when they're being selfish little fucking brats, and you know they are, because you wouldn't tolerate anybody else's kid doing that to yours, but you allow your child to do it to others. Guess what happens? They grow up to not respect you. They grow up
and others
thinking that that there's nothing you can possibly say. Like, if they want something, they're going to take it from you, and then they're going to go out into society and be a menace. So when you start with you and you don't take on, and you learn not to take on, we take on because we want to avoid something Desiree said in the beginning, which is total truth. Yep. We focus on everywhere else instead of ourselves. We want to be the life of the party. We want to be remembered. We want our name seen here. We want to do that because then it's we're looking at what they're saying about us. Ooh, look at somebody did this, and people see us coming in, and we're ignoring the shit out of ourselves, right? So don't be the life of the party if you have a lot of stitching to do. Gather your motherfucking thread and stay home and work on yourself. Be that Raggedy Ann patch baby, but be complete when you're doing so. So, because what you are not allowing yourself to feel is love. You're not allowing yourself to feel that ray of sunshine that only can come from within, because you have the sun covered under all that bullshit. What are you not feeling? You are not feeling the grave importance that your soul and your spirit is to your body. So aside from everything else that we don't do for ourselves, when we don't acknowledge who we are, then who are we? In our flaws, in our ugliness, because we all can be ugly. We all can be beautiful. We sweet and sour, that's life. So when you are not allowing yourself to feel that you matter, that you are important, no matter how broken you are, that when you start acknowledging that, then you start seeing yourself for what you are and start noticing the areas that need tending to. So we must always inquire within in order to be the best us, so our children can go out into the world and we don't got to worry about them, and they're going to be the best that they can possibly be because they were raised by the best teachers. Don't complain about the teachers at school teaching them this, that, when you haven't taught them how to stand up for themselves, how to speak their truth, how to share, which is a simple thing in life. I see so many kids nowadays entitled because their mother's like, well, that's their toy and they don't want nobody playing with it. And I'd be like, I wish I'm somewhere when this kid is in somebody else's house, so they don't get to play with anything, so they can get a taste of their own medicine. When we fail to teach the basics to our kids, and then we expect teachers that don't know them to treat them as we do, then guess what? Then you're yelling at the teacher in front of the kid, preventing them from ever respecting them and any other adult. Ask yourself, what am I doing wrong for me that I'm raising this kid? That kid is not raising himself. That kid is that way because of what we're doing or not doing. So ask yourself, what are you not feeling? And that can be positive and negative. Right now, you got to hold yourself accountable. And the lives that you claim you can't do any changes to because my kids. Ask yourself, how well are you raising those kids that you are using as a shield?
So let's answer the question about what are you going to do about it? Once you identify this one's a hard one. This one it's much easier to think about what you're not saying. It's much easier to think about what you're not seeing. It's much easier to think about what you're not hearing. But when you think about like, what are you not feeling? Like, again, it's to think about this is coming from the opposite. Are you not allowing yourself to feel good stuff? Feeling happy, feeling connected, feeling at peace, feeling joyful, feeling like you are amazing, feeling like that you are living the life that you want to live. If you're not feeling those things, you have to say, okay, if I'm not feeling joyful, if I'm not feeling happy every day, if I'm not feeling like I can trust people, if I'm not feeling like comfortable in my space, comfortable with who I am, then you have to then ask yourself, how is it affecting you? If you are feeling depressed because you are not speaking up, not feeling, saying, doing all this stuff, and you are not living your truth, then you have to acknowledge the fact that I'm not happy. Like, I'm not happy because
I'm doing
not allowing. I'm not right. I'm not allowing myself to be happy because
I'm living the opposite. You gotta
exactly.
People will walk around on eggshells, but you gotta be upfront with people. Like, somebody was supposed to call yesterday, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to call you. We had an appointment. your appointment, you call. When you have a doctor's appointment, you call. So, but the thing is, and I'm not going to be like, oh, it's okay. No, this is how it goes. And you know what? I'm okay with losing a whole coaching client, because you're not going to start off with thinking, knowing you didn't do it, but then, and I'm supposed to apologize for it. Because money isn't everything for me. Trust me, I've been broke like a motherfucker these last couple months. But you know what? It's about what I believe in and what we have to do. So if you're not feeling everything that's beautiful that the badass Buddha just said, ask yourself why, without including anybody else around you. Why are you not feeling this? What have you done that it's not creeping in through your eyeballs, right? I'm awake. Continue. Yep. There's a lot of people that said something. Can we just do that real quick? Because I know
I've been putting stuff up. So what do we do?
Milagro said something that was just so funny. She wrote something.
Oh, yes. I saw that, what she wrote about sympathy, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, here it is. She has, sometimes I don't feel sympathy for other people. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because feeling sympathy for somebody comes along with the idea of compassion and empathy, right? Sympathy is a little bit different than empathy, but sympathy is feeling sorry for somebody. However, it's okay, because I feel sorry for people who really are in a bind. That's who I feel sympathy for people who really are in a situation that they're trying to get out of, they can't. I always give people empathy, compassion, sympathy until I hear the same complaint over and over again. Because once I hear it repeated, they're not doing anything about it. And they no longer will get my sympathy for it, because I was that person. This is why I do this. I was the person that complained over and over again about my situation and did nothing about it. So my friends at that time got tired of hearing about it. And one of them called me out and said, you know what, you either do something about it, or you just, I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Get the hell up. Yeah.
Like, exactly. So she basically said to me, she was sympathetic in the beginning. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry you're having to go through that. But then when she saw that I was doing nothing but complaining about it, taking no action, the sympathy was gone. So that is there's nothing wrong with that. And just like, I think it was Lish that was saying that, well, other people's opinions or their whatever you should do or whatever, when people make statements like, oh, you should feel sorry for that person. I did, and I'm not anymore. So don't tell me how to sympathize for people, because you hear that sometimes too when you say, well, I don't feel sorry for them anymore. Oh, that's terrible. You should. Why?
And it's the same people telling you to feel sorry for somebody that will tell you when somebody that you love died, well, they're in a better place. Like, you know what? Like, I'm with Ludacris. Move out the way. You know, like, people will come up to you with the most insane advice that if you were to tell it to them, they will just break out in pieces. So, and you don't have to fight everybody. Battle beautifully, mi gente. Learn who you are, what you will and will not accept into your life, what your boundaries are. So when somebody does come up to you with certain things, you're like, okay, have a good day. Namaste. Sayonara. Fuck you. And you say that in a whisper. But Carmencita, I see Carmen Nieves was on, and my sis Maria Infante. Hola. I didn't say hi to you before. But yeah, Leisha also wrote something. Alicia's on. I love when Alicia's on, because she gets to.
She's on fire too. Yep. Desiree, between her and Desiree, they're writing like crazy. And Gail. But I know Gail was a little quieter today.
Well, she said she had to leave her.
Yeah, I know she had stuff to do. So
Michelle,
while you look, let's start talking about what are you going to do about this, because we are at the 9 o'clock mark.
You said hi to everybody.
What are you going to do about it? Like, so you have to start. This is a plan. This one especially, you have got to, today's Thursday. You have got to sit with this weekend. You've got to sit with this weekend. We are forcing you this month to get uncomfortable and get in that space. What are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about bringing joy in your life, being happy every day, being at peace? What is interfering with that? If it's a person, if it's people, if it's a situation, if it's your environment, what can you change to allow that. So if you walk into your space and you say, let's say it's a physical environment. Let's say you walk into your space and you're seeing, right? What are you not seeing? You're seeing now that there's clutter. You're hearing that it's interfering with your thought patterns. What are you not saying? I can't stand this mess anymore. I don't want all these things anymore. What are you not feeling? I'm not feeling joy in this space because it's so awful. It's so cluttered. Then you know what you do this again? You get a box or a bin and you start pulling crap out of your closet, off your shelves, out of your drawers, under your bed, wherever it's sitting, and you start doing something about it. Put some nice music on or put a show on that's like your go-to show that you don't have to pay attention, and you start moving this crap out. Now, we talked about the clutter. That was in the what am I not seeing? Especially we talked about that, but it plays into all of this. Because if you keep walking in your space going, I don't even have a space in my house that I feel comfortable in. There's the feeling. I'm not feeling comfortable because there's just so much shit everywhere and blah, blah, blah. Then do something about it.
And this will be you with everything. What am I not seeing? What am I not allowing? Not because you can't see it.
Yep.
What am I not allowing to see? What am I not hearing? What am I not saying in defense to my spirit? This is your temple. You are the Holy Trinity. And then there's you. So you got to protect it. You got to wear your armor for it. Your senses are gifts for you to see with clarity, for you to hear what's being said and what's not being said, for you to speak life into things that are dying, which means yourself to start with. You speak it out, it comes out, it goes back in, it lights the light bulb on that you've been dimming, and then you can see things with clarity. You are totally responsible for your temple. It's not God's fault. It's not the devil's fault. It's not your neighbor's fault. It's not your ex-boyfriend's mama, baby mama. It's you. You have to inquire within. You have to want to be better in your life so that the things around you can change. And it's difficult. And it'll make you cry. And it'll make you be lethargic and sleep or not sleep. It'll make you, every time you choose to heal, it's going to bring you down. Don't think that because you heal, don't think that because you're up here and you know you got to do some cleansing because you let things absorb in, that you're not going to feel the effects of it. You are. Because I'm like that. Why do you think I'm up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning knowing I have to be up by 7 to do this show and then ignore my alarms like I did today and on Tuesday? Because I too am doing a spiritual cleansing. I'm purging, like the badass Buddha says. I'm looking at everything in my house and seeing what I no longer need. Why am I holding on to my dead husband's glasses and my mother's their reading glasses? I have to make decisions and they hurt and they make me sad and then they bring me back to them passing and then I smile because I was aware and I was present when all of that took place. So why am I feeling this? I had the gift to see it, to hear their last breath, to speak loving words to them as they're taking the ascension up. So that's what we got to be aware of. What is in our control? And that's what you do. And then when somebody says, hey, Margie, hey, Lori, I don't know, you were acting kind of funny. What are you not feeling? And then you can look at them and smile and take a deep breath and says, I feel everything and nothing. Tell me your story. Guess what? They're not going to have shit to say. But say it in confidence. Because we are able to feel everything and nothing and be okay in both places. When we are feeling nothing, people call us lazy. We call ourselves, oh my God, am I going through depression? Am I not well? Why am I feel like I feel guilty because I got to do something. Sit in your nothingness because that's where your biggest lessons come from.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do that. Like I wish I could remember where I heard it from, but we're human beings, not human doings.
Yes.
We're always hell bent on doing. And there's nothing wrong with doing because we want it. That's action. But we also have to take those moments of not doing. And you have to be very mindful of the fact that are you doing to avoid? Or is that the reason you're doing? Like you're not, you want to stay busy and you give yourself these little tasks here to do to avoid. Like I catch myself doing that all the time because my office is out of my house. I constantly do that. I will avoid doing the work that I'm supposed to do. So I'll do laundry, I got to clean this. I got to stop.
But badass Buddha, when you're doing the laundry and you come back to do the work at your desk, isn't it easier?
Well, no, as long as I do that. Yes.
I like that. Because they will wander off, right? Hello, Arlene and Darlene.
Good morning, ladies.
So, yeah, Byron and I, on my YouTube channel, Moments con Margarita, 5 months ago, we did a show called Are You Being or Are You Doing? And that was 5 months ago. Wow, time goes by. I think I haven't spoken to him in so long. And that is a great question to ask for yourself. And not about, are you doing enough on social media? Are you going to social events? Are you being out with your friends? Are you letting yourself be seen? No, I don't care if you're held up in a 1-bedroom apartment. It's between you and the self that you have tried to dim this lights. Because that person that you have suppressed is why you're feeling this way. Bring that person out. It is your true being. Understanding yourself at its full, at its completeness, is you awakening that dormant spirit that you hush so that you can fit in everywhere on the outside. Or that spirit is so fierce that it scared you because a lot of people didn't accept it. So you kept drowning it. Until you become one with who you are, you're not going to be anything of service to anything else. So I wish you well. Call us, email us, whatever. We'll try to think of it from the beginning. What was the first one, badass?
What are you not seeing? Yeah. What are you not hearing? What are you not saying? What are you not feeling?
Okay. Write them down and tackle them this weekend.
Yes.
You got 4 days. So you got,
That's right. Because remember, so next week, Tuesday is walk a mile in your own fucking shoes. Okay. Then Thursday is forgiveness takes courage. Then the last week of September, that Tuesday is what are you not doing? So now we're going to revisit. So you have an extra week to work on all these things that we had you work on. And now we're going to talk about what are you not doing? So you've acknowledged all these things. And now you've asked yourself those questions. What am I going to do about it? Now we're going to check in and be accountable. Are you actually doing it? So what are you not doing? And then that very last day of September is Take the Leap with our special guest host, Melissa Rusiano. So prepare for this. You have 2 weeks left of the month to really build up on yourself in this month of taking control and taking action. And we are doing the work as well on our end. So don't think we're not. We have some very interesting things that are happening in our lives. Sometimes we're pretty vocal about it. Sometimes we're a little bit quieter. Sometimes you have to be. Because when you are making shifts and it is going to be big, they're going to be big. Sometimes you have to be very careful who you share it with, just for those same reasons that Lith had said before, is that it's sometimes sometimes other people's opinion, and Gail said it too. They want to put their opinion on you and it's going to side rail you. So sometimes you have to be very quiet about some of the things that you're doing and then get ready to unleash it. So there you go. All right. So with that, we will end and look at what Desiree said. I appreciate you all each and every show. Thank you. We're all work in progress. Absolutely. We all are. Some days it's slower than others. Some days no progress at all. And some days I'm sprinting. We need to be mindful of how often we slow down and how often we stop. Because while we do need those moments, because I'm guilty of this, I did too much stopping last year, too much slowing down. And it almost took me out. So we have to check in. We still, no matter what, have to keep moving forward. And if we sit on the ground like a child, temper tantrum, no, I'm not going. We can't do that. That is not good for our growth. And we have to acknowledge and answer the question, why are we doing that?
Why? But yourself, you can ask 10 people for advice because, I don't know what to do. And you're calling this person. I don't know, maybe because you like the sound of your voice. I don't know. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to use discernment. And then after the 10th person answers you, you go and you do what the fuck you initially were going to do in the first place. So why release so much energy? Why incorporate people to develop a certain kind of negative energy towards you because their perception of you is now changing, making yourself look weak? And then people want to be all involved in your business. And Amanda said it, outside energy is real, especially when negative. You know, the demons are flowing more effortlessly in our midst right now. That, you know, whatever's for you, when God says this is for you, it's for you. But remember, there will be interruptions. There will be people pulling at your dress, having it come out at the seams, and before you know it, you're standing there naked because you allowed all this energy to pull from you. So Amanda, right on point. And just, you know what? Trust yourself. Just like it's God, then you, then everyone else. Trust the process that you're living in. And then if you have any concerns, then pick somebody you trust to discuss or write it down, flip it over, go do what you got to do throughout the day. And either that evening or the next day, come back, flip the page over and say, oh, I asked myself that. And I remember while I was cooking, I got these ideas. You answer your best questions. You always do. But you got to be, what is that? You got to be involved in your life. It's easy to call somebody and vent. Why? So let's say if you're feeling whatever it is you're feeling, write it down. Put it down. That's it. Walk away. Do whatever the hell you got to do for the day. And if you wrote this down in the evening, don't come back to it until tomorrow evening. Flip it and says, oh my, yeah, that's right. And then start writing what you feel. And you're going to see, you know, through prayer, through meditation, through breathing techniques, breathe on your own. You don't need to spend all this money. Breathe. Answer your own damn questions. And if not, have someone that you do trust that you can say blah, blah, blah. Or just make sure you tune in every Tuesday and Thursday mornings, Facebook and YouTube, and listen to us speak. Because we speak from the heart.
Yeah. All right. So everybody have an absolutely beautiful weekend. Make sure you work. Make sure you share this. Rewatch as necessary, but share it with your friends and your tribe so that they can learn something. So make sure you share all the stuff that we've been talking about from the beginning, and we would be very, very grateful for that. So, oops, I'm sorry, Gladiator Guru. You clicked on it, and I clicked on it at the same time. There we go. Thank you. Yes, for my favorite word, breath. Yes, breathe. Marina, wonderful. All right, well, that's it. So, from the Badass Buddha, thank you everybody for coming on and staying late as usual. And remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.